And he's right here.
Right now.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Here we go. It's Monday. It is a Reaction Monday with you. Welcome into the Bureau. The Bureau, the Farm Bureau Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go! With the home team, welcome into this Reaction Monday where we're a sports show in a sports world where basketball teams can lean on each other, sweat on each other, breathe on each other, touch, push, shove one another. But got to wear a mask when you get on the bench and you can't shake hands after the ball game. That's the world we live in, yo! That's the world that we live in as we speak. They can breathe and sweat on each other for 48 minutes. But hey, do not go shake hands after the game. But I digress. Welcome into the show. Lots to get to. Holy mackerel, what an NCAA basketball tournament you have going on. Not to mention those curious little consolation games over there. Mississippi State men's basketball 1-1. Tonight, the Ole Miss women's team going to try to win one in the women's NIT. So there's a lot of basketball out there. You've never had a Sweet 16 like the one you're about to have. All these upsets and all these double-digit seeds winning and advancing and so on and so forth. Let me remind you, after the likes of Oral Roberts and Ohio and others have advanced, let me remind you that we also live in a sports world where we have a preseason top 25 poll in college basketball. Now think about how stupid all that is. Think about it. It's like baseball. Number one, why 25? You're going to do a poll. Why are you doing 25? Huh? Y'all are experts, right? Right? You're out here doing a poll, and you're supposedly an expert. Why stop at 25? Okay? The number 25 in basketball and in college baseball make no sense whatsoever. None. Why do you ask? Well, it's really a simple answer. Because the postseason in basketball involves 68 teams. You don't have to be one of the best 25 at any point in the year to win the whole thing. And the same is true in baseball. It's just 64. Tell them, Pete.
That don't make no sense.
It don't make any sense. And just for fun, though, go back and look at that preseason top 25. Go ahead. Go back and look at it. You know who's not in there? Oral Roberts. Ohio. You know who's in the Sweet 16? Both of them. Well, I don't know about Ohio. Oral Roberts is. And several others, for that matter. Top 25. On that note, if you want me to, today, at some point, go over the new top 25 in college baseball, then feel free to just let me know. We'll go over it. We got a new one in the D1 poll in Baseball America and so on and so forth. All I know is State and Ole Miss are both in the top 5 of every poll. Vanderbilt may or may not be number 1 in every poll, but they should be in baseball. And again, why are we stopping at 25? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, why have a preseason poll anyway? Polls. What do the polls do? Nothing. For a sport like basketball that has a 68-team playoff, baseball 64, why do we need polls? You don't need them. You do not need them. But this is the world. This is our world. This is our sports world that we live in. Again, you'll watch games. There are games going on right now, right this very dadgum minute in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. We've had high school games. We've had college games. You got NBA games. Okay? Again, I just want y'all, okay, and I've got it on my mind. I got COVID on my mind today, y'all. And it's not a COVID show. Please understand, it's not a COVID show. But I got COVID on my mind because I got my second shot this morning. Now, people are telling me that I'm going to be dead on my feet tomorrow. Well, it just depends. May not. I've had other people say I had no issues. Anyway, I got my second shot today. So I got it on my mind. COVID's on my mind. Let me just say, we live in a world. Back up and look at this. We live in a world. All of these basketball games you're watching, we've moved the venues. We've bubbled it. Bubble. Who doesn't like bubbles? Who don't like bubbles? We've got a bubble. We got teams in here. They can't sit next to their own teammates. We got Pat Forty out here making fun of coaches who were stubborn about wearing masks, who have now been eliminated from the tournament. He's basically celebrating the fact that coaches who were stubborn about wearing masks have been eliminated from the tournament. Okay, that's the other part of the sports world we live in, is the mushy-headed sports media. Okay, please don't lump me in. Please, by all means, do not lump me in. But I digress. Back to the original point. They can't sit next to their own teammates in these games. Turn it on right now. Now it's halftime. Oregon versus Iowa. A 7 versus a 2. Feel free. It's halftime. But listen, they can't sit next to their own teammate. I'm watching all these games. They got them spread out over here in a mask, and we get them on the floor, shoulder to shoulder, bump. Oh, not only do we sweat on each other, breathe on each other, run into each other, hang on each other, hit each other, slap each other, possibly even spit on each other, we're using the same ball. In college baseball yesterday in the Ole Miss Auburn baseball game, do you know what happened? A ball was called. Batter steps in the box. First pitch hasn't even been thrown. Whoa, ball, put a ball on the board. It's a ball and no strike. Why? Why'd they get? He didn't even throw the pitch. Why'd they put a ball up there? You know why? Because the pitcher put his fingers in his mouth and then gripped the baseball.
That's odd. I've never seen that before in a baseball game.
It's new because it's COVID. JB, you can't spit on the baseball and throw it up there. COVID.
Well, supposedly you couldn't spit on it before either.
Well, it's supposed to be. But this is a whole, we're going to put a ball on the board because we don't want people putting their fingers in their mouth. You know why? COVID.
Yeah, different ball and chain.
COVID, we got a ball because he put his fingers to his mouth before gripping the baseball before a pitch. And I turned the channel to a basketball game, and all 10 players are handling the same basketball. All 10. I throw it to you. You throw it to him. You throw it to him. We're all sweating on it, breathing on it, holding on to it, passing it to each other. Yet, we got a timeout. We can't get next to each other. Cannot sit next to your teammates. Social distance on the bench. And we can't get together and shake hands after the game. That's the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. It is stupid. Dumb. Stupid, dumb, stupid. And do you know why it's that way? Do you know why it's that way? Not reality. No. Perception. It is perception. It is done for the cameras. It is done for social media. So it's basically college basketball's way of saying, shut up! Leave us alone! Can't you see we're doing our best? And it's done for the lawyers. But it's not done for reality. It's strictly done for perception. Okay, how's that? That's off my chest now. In fact, my voice got so loud there a couple of times I could hear my microphone starting to pop, snap, crackle, and pop in here. I better chill out. I'm going to be buying a new microphone, which I can't afford right now.
It's okay. Just don't spit into it.
Yeah, nobody else use it. You know, don't want the homecoming queen in here using my microphone. She may get COVID. Oh yeah, but yeah, we do. Right, we do sleep in the same bed. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're eating in the same kitchen.
The same utensils.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. But by all means, don't get close to my microphone now. You may get it.
Y'all's toothbrushes touch at all?
I tell you what, man. Some of the stuff in this world. All right, where are we? All right, let's see where we are. I'm going to get to a couple of comments here and a couple of texts, and I'm coming straight to the phone line. But first, hi to everybody on the live stream. If you're tuning in on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, hey to y'all. Thanks for saying hey. Hey, Sven says, hey, good evening. He's over in Germany. And he says he hope you had a great weekend. We did. Sven, same to you. Hope you had a great weekend as well. We did. Beautiful weather. Ran to do a little fishing. JB likes the top 25 rant. Thank you, brother. Dave said, hey, Matt, baseball on a roll. That'd be good. Sounds good. Let's have it for lunch. He said, but what is happening now with softball? Lost 3 to Ole Miss, now 3 to Florida. Also, way to go to our basketball dogs. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with softball as closely. I know that, Ole Miss has a pretty competitive team. State does not. Just is what it is. David wished us a good afternoon, and Caleb was letting me know that Arkansas, is still number one in baseball America. So Vanderbilt is not. I think Vanderbilt jumped up to number one in D1 baseball in their top 25. And State and Ole Miss in the top 5. That's about all that matters. Ultimately, the rankings don't matter. Chad told me that the preseason poll is yet another example of how, quote, media/journalist is not synonymous with expert. That's good. So, and Caleb reminded me that this weekend's matchup is 1 versus 2, according to Baseball America. Okay, so Arkansas going to Mississippi State this weekend. Denzel sent us a quick shout-out on the Country Pleasing text line. He said State baseball looked stout. Ole Miss baseball looked good versus a hurt Auburn team, and State basketball played better than I thought they would. And Jackson State football got cocky, and it bit them this past weekend. Yeah, Alabama State with the win, handing Jackson State and Coach Prime his first loss as the head coach there. It was a good competitive game, though. Pretty high scoring. And I know there was a little, not brouhaha, but there was a little shot fired on the video board by Alabama State after the game at Coach Prime. I thought it was just great. Coach Prime took the high road, didn't back away from it, just called it what it was, which was trash. Just basically, amateur hour by Alabama State at the end of that ball game, what they did, throwing up a picture of Prime getting drafted back at Florida State days. It's kind of a shot at him. And he just basically said, hey, it's just immature. That's all it is. This is not about me. It's about the game and the kids, and he's exactly right. And if you're a Jackson State fan, even though you lost the game, you can't be more proud of the way your head coach behaved given everything that went on at the end of that ball game. That's my take. All right. Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S., in fact. Means they've been doing it better, longer than anyone else. Judy is hanging on the phone. Hey, Judy. Hope you had a good weekend.
Hey, Matt. I had a fine weekend. Thank you. I hope you did too.
Did. Yes. Enjoyed some beautiful weather.
Oh, yes. Proud of our Bulldogs. 2 out of 3, according to the song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's right. Not bad at all.
I would have loved the 3 out of 3, but it just wasn't meant for us yesterday.
Right.
I have a praise for you and a question for you about COVID.
Okay.
Thank you for getting your COVID shot.
Mm-hmm.
I have had both doses of mine, had no trouble with either one.
Oh, good.
Doug, on the other hand, refuses to get it. My daughter, who is a dental hygienist, refuses to get it. Her husband, physical therapist, does not want to get it. Mm-hmm. My younger sister and her family had COVID, and they also had the first and second doses of the vaccine after the COVID.
Yeah.
Now, my question for you, I forgot.
Well, it's not your fault, Judy, if you forgot. Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to say you were taking me back to an old-timey Baptist preacher, and I was ready to say, hallelujah, brother, preach on.
Well, I'm related.
Hail State, go Bulldogs.
Hail State, go Dogs. I'm related to a preacher. I'm friends with one, and I work with one. Well, I'm really friends with all 3 of those, yeah, so I couldn't help but be affected by the did I have a little fire and brimstone in there in my voice? Well, yeah, it's unintentional. I can't help it. It's just there. Let's see. Hog Jowl said, I would like to wish a sweet 16 happy birthday to the Hogs. Pig Suey. What's that? Sweet 16 happy birthday to the Hogs. What Hogs? Why are they 16, Hog Jowl? I'm going to need an explanation. Matt Daddy on the Country Pleasing text line says, breathe, brother, breathe. That's his way of telling me to calm down. Fletch said, tell me how you really feel, Matt. I'm not sure where you stand on the subject of COVID. Look, man, what I'm saying is I have taken it very seriously, and my family has as well. I've not been afraid of it, but I wasn't taking any chances, not for my own sake, but for other people's sake. I've worn masks. We've talked about it on this show. Fully supported that from day one. Doing what they told you to do. You know, you want to have a winning team, we all got to fill our role on the team. I can't be a loner out here on the team. We got to kind of do this thing collectively. Okay, so that's where I've been. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is all this outside the lines ancillary stuff that people are doing, and now we see it throughout the sports world. It just doesn't make any sense. It never did. I mean, I'm all for, even with COVID, the constant testing in the bubble. Hats off to them for figuring out a way to have a basketball season and a postseason. It's awesome. I'm so glad we have it. But you're telling me that in the middle of all this going on in a game that the kids can't sit next to each other on the bench? They can't meet up and shake hands after the game? What? After we just played the game? So to me, that goes too far, because I look at it and go, that's only about perception. It ain't reality. It has nothing to do with reality. Can't. And Bill said, Matt, you're right. It's all perception. Friday night at the LSU Mississippi State baseball game, the ushers were carrying around signs about wearing masks and pointing people out who weren't and making them put their masks on. That game was televised on the SEC network. Fast forward to Saturday night, I saw half as many ushers, and they didn't care if you were wearing your mask or not. That game was not televised on the SEC network. One word from Bill: perception. Hey, State took 2 out of 3 on the road at LSU. Chris predicted a sweep last Friday. He didn't get it, but he did get 2 out of 3. And like Judy said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I bet Jay in Baltimore feels the same way. Let's go over to the Davini Equipment phone. Jay, thanks for calling, man. What's up?
Well, Matt, you're not going to hear any negativity coming out of Baltimore this afternoon.
Good.
Yeah, Baton Rouge, 2 out of 3. Like Judy said, no complaints here. But the offense has got to give this pitching staff a few more runs. You just can't win with 3 or 4 runs in the SEC. I don't really want to go down the rabbit hole that is Eric Sarantola, but I'll say this. I had somebody ask me over the weekend, why don't they just move on from Eric Sarantola? But it's just clear if the goal, and we know what the goal is, it's not a super and it's not Omaha, it's to win the entire thing. Right. Eric Sarantola needs to be a part of the equation. I mean, you look around the SEC, Florida, Ole Miss, Vandy, they're loaded at pitching as well. Really my question to you today, I think, is do you see Lamonis making any changes on the offensive side of the ball? Scotty DeBrule has struggled, and Tanner Leggett might be someone that I think we might see play a little second base to try to get some changes in that offense. What do you think?
Yeah, great question. And I agree with all of your observations, Jay. And if I'm not careful, I'll get into it today with State fans, because this is a pretty dividing topic, Jay, and that is long-term goal and how Sarantola fits into it. I mean, he doesn't go 2 full innings in his start on Sunday, knowing that it was a big deal and all that, and it's a control issue. He's the highest-rated prospect on your whole baseball team. And I agree with you. The goal is for State this year is not to just host a regional, it's not to just host a super, it's to go to Omaha with the pitching staff to win the whole thing. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. If it takes a few Sunday struggles for the light bulb and the control to eventually come on, or if they want to do that, I'm okay with it. Or, Jay, if they did make the decision to bring Sarantola out of the bullpen, and the light bulb came on because he's no longer going to wind up, he's fully stretched, and you're able to get 3 to 4 now dominant innings out of him, okay, do it. Because I just think his arm, if they can get him in the strike zone a little more consistently, his arm gives you a better chance to go win the whole thing. Okay, so there's the wormhole. I went down it. The offensive thing, I don't know if it's time just yet, Jay. To your point, do they have to have better run production throughout their weekends if they want to do that? Yes. What they did this past weekend is great, but you can't go do it every weekend. You got to have a little more consistent, a little more run production. I know they feel like it will happen. Let's just say this. If a little tweak or a lineup change is what it takes, Lamonis will see it coming long before we do, because he's shown that in the past. He'll switch it up even when we don't see it coming. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I would say one more weekend of trying to hit outside pitches and beating it into the dirt, trying to pull outside pitches, beating it in the dirt for weak ground balls, and some guys will get to watch somebody else play. That's what I would say.
Yeah. We just need some more competitive at bats. Too many low pitch count, dribblers to the left, or to the right side of the field. It's just not going to cut it.
No doubt.
We need definitely more competitive from the top of the lineup. Hey, thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Jay. Just getting started in the Bureau. Calls and texts coming up. Y'all stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G. We're 5G ready.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi. And that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy bird's eye. Better buy bird's eye.
Yes, always look for this bird's eye bird, your guarantee of top quality.
He's not bald. He's just taller than his hair is.
Nice hair!
It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and worldwide online at The Zone, 1059.com.
Yes, sir. Here we go. Rolling along with you, just getting started here on this Reaction Monday. I'll put the show in your lap. What's your reaction of the weekend? And anything's on the table as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of people here love baseball. You almost love it as much as I do. Almost. Yeah. Football, basketball, we got a little bit of all of it going on. And there's, thank goodness it's a 3-hour show today, because I think that's about what it would take to have a chance to kind of get into the discussion on all of it with you. All right, so text me, call me, comment. You can comment on the live stream. Drop it in there if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope. Lots of people already in on the show there. You can text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. It is the best. This morning I had cheese grits and jalapeno and cheddar sausage from Country Pleasin' for breakfast. So text me, 885-ESPN, 601 number, 885-ESPN, or 885-3776. Or call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Here's the number to call, 995-1059, 601-995-1059. Judy is back because she has remembered her question. Judy, what's up?
I'm sorry I have to call back, and I know I've got 10 seconds.
No, it's
Do you
fine.
and your wife not use the same tube of toothpaste?
No. That is an excellent question. It's almost, Judy, it's one of those things I've never thought of. I don't think we've ever even discussed it in our house. But
Do you
maybe
use the same kind?
Maybe there are. That I don't know. I think we do. I think there may be two types of couples. There are two types of married couples in this world, Judy. Those that use the same toothpaste and those that don't. Never thought of that.
Well, I can see the same toothbrush not being used, but my husband and I have always shared the same toothpaste.
Yeah. Well.
And this goes back to COVID. I apologize for bringing that back up.
That's okay.
On the basketball games that I saw over the weekend, the team members still huddle together with the coach.
Yeah.
They are not separated by 6 feet apart. Yet, like you were saying, on the sidelines, the bench, they're all socially distant.
To
me, that makes no sense.
It just, Judy, I cannot figure out anybody's logic behind it. Like real smart, good-hearted, well-intentioned people. I know we make fun of the NCAA a lot of times, or we talk about things that they should change or whatever, but really there's a lot of good people making decisions on this kind of stuff, and conference leaders, and how they could get together and all go, yeah, this is a good idea. Okay, we're going to huddle. We're going to play. We're all using the same ball. But when you sit down, we need to make sure these seats are separated. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. How did they decide that's a good idea? Because it just makes no sense. You're right.
Anyway, I still love my dogs.
Hail State. Thanks, Judy.
See you later. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Yeah, 2 great calls. Thanks for calling. No, we don't use the same tube of toothpaste. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with a married couple, or heck, any two people. I mean, do what you want to do. It's your life. You don't want to share a tube of toothpaste? Go ahead. Oh, But if maybe it's just me. I've never even thought about it. I've never even asked Annabeth if she has a preference. We just going to use 2 different tubes of toothpaste. I'm not using hers and she's not using mine. And if somebody hands me, my entire life I've been this way. They hand me like they got a Coke or a Mountain Dew. Hey, you want a sip? No. I'm drinking after you. Get that away from me. I'll drink my own. Some people just grab it and take a big swig and hand it right back to you. Just to each his own. Neither here nor there. It's not right or wrong. It's just, I guess some do and some don't. Lynn on the Davini phone. Thanks for calling, Lynn. Hope you had a good weekend.
I had a great weekend, man. Hope y'all have too. Look, I can tell you why the whole social distance stuff and basketball and all that is like it is, I think. We're not trying to appease normal people. We're trying to appease cancel culture so they don't cancel our sports. All these retarded folks.
Amen. Yeah.
It's not people with sense that we're trying to please because we know better. It's the idiots that are somehow have got in charge of what gets canceled and ain't that we got to keep happy. And I'll be glad when this time passes, and it will pass, I believe.
Yeah, it's all this stuff cycles in and cycles out. I mean, it really does. And another thing I was thinking about, and y'all can probably speak to this just as much, but you know how a lot of times, like each generation will kind of in some ways rebel against their parents' generation. And so, it comes and goes, right? Whatever is in now for young people, if they hang on to it and their generation grows up and becomes parents, guess what? Their kids are just as likely to rebel against that, whatever it is, because a lot of that stuff happens. But back to your point, you said it's the cancel culture earlier. I just said social media. That's what it is. I mean, keeping those seats on the bench, hopscotched and 6 feet apart is strictly for the television cameras and therefore social media as a way to say, leave us alone and shut up and get off our back. That's all that is.
That's it.
Yep.
Man, I got a baseball question for you before we get off here. We're still getting pretty timely hitting, and I like it. We're playing small ball. I think we run more this year than we have in the past 3. I like seeing all that. And that's a good way to manufacture runs when you're not hitting the ball, and that's good with the pitching staff we have, that all that works together, and I think that's probably why he's doing some of it. But I was wondering, after watching Skinner play a little bit, with his speed, and he makes good contact a lot, and he really hustles, why can't he go up to lead off?
Yeah.
I mean, if he can, he might be a thought to put there just to try somebody. And that's just a thought. I don't know him. I'm the coach. I'm not there. But I do know he can fly. I do know he hustles.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 things say lead off.
Right. Well, I would we're operating here. My answer is based on a hypothetical. Okay, but so I'll say if, Lynn, but if we go another midweek, weekend, that'd be 4 games. If you go another 4 to 5 games with a little more struggling, especially against SEC pitching at the top of that lineup, it's a virtual guarantee that Lamonis will shake it up and try somebody else up there. And I think you just identified who's a prime candidate to get a shot at the top of the lineup because of his speed. I mean, we saw it against LSU that all it takes is a chopper on the infield, and you just hesitate a half a second, he beats it out. I think what you're touching on is a legit possibility, and maybe one more midweek and one more weekend of him for the first time in his career, and that's Braylon Skinner we're talking about, seeing a few more pitches from elite arms. He just needs a few more at-bats under his belt before they do it, maybe.
Yeah, I would be throwing him in the fire, I guess, but he seems to have the tools for the job, and we're struggling there.
Yeah.
But that was just my thought. I'm gonna try to keep cancel culture off me and stay in this truck. But if anybody gets too close to me, I'm gonna put them in the ditch.
Watch out now. Thanks, Lynn. Be careful, man. Thank you. All right, call anytime. And looking at the stats, Jay touched on it earlier about state baseball. Lynn's touching on it. So let's just go ahead and go baseball now. State takes 2 out of 3 on the road at LSU. And LSU is a legit top 25 team, and they're good, in some ways. I don't know that they're going to pitch it necessarily as well throughout their weekend and as some of their teams in the past, but they're a good team. And you go down there, not many teams are going to Baton Rouge and winning a series. This doesn't happen much. Okay, so a lot of weight on having a road series win there. And the thing about it is, don't forget that overall what's most important to a team like State is that RPI as it relates to setting you up in the postseason. Well, road wins carry so much more weight than home wins do. Even road losses aren't as bad, nearly as bad as a home loss. So to have a road series like this under your belt that you went and took 2 out of 3, it's like I told you last week. Road series against those level teams in the SEC, it's all about going on the road and just don't get swept on the road. To win one game and your RPI is taken care of for that weekend. And when State won on Friday night, thanks to a dominant outing on the mound by Christian McLeod, he was look, LSU can hit. Christian McLeod was dominant. I mean, he saved his best start for his biggest start to this point, and that was Friday night at LSU. He was dominant. And they go win on Friday night. Look, the rest of the weekend, you're playing with house money. It's icing on the cake. And when they went and won on Saturday, it's just more icing on the cake is kind of the way it was. Now, for Ole Miss, they get a home sweep of Auburn. Auburn's a little banged up, especially their pitching staff. Well, Ole Miss sweeps them. They are now way ahead of the curve because you got that one extra, house money win. Ole Miss could have easily won 2 out of 3 against Auburn and be sitting pretty in terms of RPI. So, even though it's home games, you sweep an SEC team, that's big for you in the RPI category. Southern Miss a sweep this weekend as well. They'll jump into Conference USA play, but Southern Miss get their hands full next week with Louisiana Tech. I can promise you that. So more on the baseball. We'll take a look at some stats and the results from the weekend, and then I'll get to your texts and comments next in the Bureau. Stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
Is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert, Jello instant pudding.
The Mississippi State radio analyst. And who's on your radio?
Right now!
You got the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. All right.
Hey, man.
Hey.
I hate to bust in on your coming back here in this last segment, but, man, something just happened, and it is flat out amazing. And I know you don't like that word or epic, but it is. So check this out. You know, I sent you that text from Hog Jow that over the weekend, just for cash tips and gifts that were given on site, was almost $2,800. That does not count any of the pledges. That won't be known for about another week.
Okay, and real quick, JB,
yeah.
just for people who just tuned in, what JB's talking about is over the weekend. We previewed it last week, and so over the weekend you had the Singing for Kids event at the flea market, the Flowwood Flea Market, right? Do I have that right?
Yep. That's correct.
The Flowwood Antique Market or Flea Market?
I think it's the Flowwood Antique Flea Market.
Flea Market, okay. And it involved Hog Jow and JB and others raising money for Blair Batson Hospital for Kids here in Mississippi. Okay, so that's what JB's talking about.
Thanks for setting it up for me. But, yeah, so, he'd sent that in today, and we were excited about that and probably going to announce that a little bit later. But he just sent me another text and said one of our listeners to your show called and donated $3,200.
What?
I got chicken skin.
Oh, man. Well, and I don't guess it's anonymous. I guess we don't know who it is, right?
No.
Well,
hey, man, thank you people that are listening out there and have compassionate hearts and willing pocketbooks.
That's outstanding. So with that, including the tips, now it's over $6,000 that was raised in that event.
And doesn't include the pledges that were made.
Wow. So it's going to be approaching, it could be way on up there.
Yeah.
By the time this is done. That is outstanding. Well, to whomever, you know who you are and God knows who you are, and thank you so much. Just can't say thanks enough. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, JB. That's great.
I like to be the bearer of good news.
As opposed to the alternative. Well, that was certainly good news, man. That is great. And hats off to you and Hog Jow. Hog Jow, I guess, what was that stuff they used to advertise on television for old people that would help their hands? What was that? It was a cream they'd rub on their. You see the commercial all the time.
Talking about Gold Bond?
Well, it was something like that, but it had a different name, and I'm sort of just joking. But yeah, after over 30 hours straight of playing a guitar and singing, Hog Jowl, take care of those digits, man. Let them heal up. Thank goodness for super glue too, right? But really do appreciate all the folks that have pitched in and helped them raise some money for an excellent cause. And right now, short of the pledges, already over $6,000 raised, and every single solitary penny of that goes straight to Blair Batson. That's great stuff. Great stuff. One more round of applause. One more round of applause for everybody who was involved. All right, turning the page, I'm going to get over here to some of your comments on the live stream and on the text line about baseball. That's what most of it is right now. Saints fan SB09 said offense will come around. Pitching is already there, which is huge. Lamonis will find a Sunday starter. I think they got all the pieces, and they'll figure some things out. And say what you want. You get a road series win at LSU, you're ahead of the curve already in terms of your RPI. You'd love to win a regular season championship in the SEC, but it doesn't really help you that much. It's just set yourself up for the postseason, which they kind of sort of are ahead of. And now you got to just get in the postseason and play your best baseball. Then that's the case for everybody, though. Really for everybody. Let's see. Louvier, we were talking about the basketball thing and separating the benches, said bureaucracy and hypocrisy go together like red beans and rice and country pleasing sausage. Go Saints. No doubt about it. Like, we're going to move the chairs on the bench. They can't sit next to each other on the teammates, but we're out here breathing and sweating on each other and slobbering on each other in a game and using the same ball. But we can't shake hands after the game, by all means. I mean, yeah. Thanks to Brent and JB, they came up with it. It's Blue Emu. Yeah, remember those Blue Emu lotion commercials? It's like Wonder Lotion. It heals arthritis, according to the commercial. It's what you take away from it. Talked about preachers earlier. Dog Tired in Florence said, Matt, I'm a PK. Father preached for 48 years. He was a big baseball fan. 1965 state grad in electrical engineering. 2001, he says his brother got the 2000th win at MSU. We bleed maroon. He said 2 out of 3 wins away from the dude is outstanding, but next weekend against Arkansas will be the tail of the tape. Yeah, no doubt about it. Huge series next weekend. Arkansas at State, and let me just tell you something. Masks and all, it's going to be shoulder to shoulder. At Duty
Brooks
Noble
said
Field.
Ole Miss had about 10,000, a little over 10,000 fans yesterday.
They had a huge crowd. It looked great and a beautiful day. I watched and by the way, who was that that asked me? I guess it was Brent earlier that wanted to know. He said, what game were you watching when the pitcher was charged with a ball for, putting his fingers in his mouth? I want to see that obscurity for myself. Brent, it was yesterday, the Sunday game in the first 2 to 3 innings of the Ole Miss versus Auburn game. I was watching it on SEC Plus, and a tip of the cap to my former partner, Richard Cross. He was calling the Ole Miss game on the SEC Plus, and I wouldn't have known what was coming, but as soon as he saw it, he was calling the game on the SEC Plus, and he knew exactly what it was, like as soon as he saw it. So tip of the cap to him. Otherwise, I would have no idea what was going on, if it was a balk or what it was, because it was odd. It wasn't called like a balk. It was called like a ball. They go, and then he explained it. Okay, so he went to his mouth with his hand and then grabbed the baseball. Second base umpire goes, nope, because that's against the COVID rules, right? So they put a ball on there. It was a batter had just stepped in the box, and he starts off with a 1-0 count before a pitch had ever even been thrown. So,
That's ridiculous.
It is. And I only watched about 30 minutes of the Ole Miss game before I flipped over to mostly State and LSU after that yesterday. But there were 3 things that jumped out to me. One was that play, because I saw it. I'm like, that's a first. 2 was when they showed the crowd shots, all those people now for Ole Miss that wear light blue as opposed to the old dark blue that they used to all wear, makes it look totally different. It makes the whole place look like it's more full of people. Of course, they had a big crowd, but you know, we talk about the baby blue that the team wears, but the whole fan base wearing it is even better, I think, a look for them. The way it, I don't know, it just transformed the whole look of the whole place. I thought it was pretty cool, so hats off to them. The other thing was, I kept noticing Ole Miss, more than any other place you watch, they have people sitting in those premium seats right behind the umpire at home plate. Every place you watch has people that yell at the umpire. Balls and strikes, they get mad, whatever. But Ole Miss, more than any place you watch, the people that sit behind home plate and sit behind the umpire, they yell and scream at the umpire over balls and strikes the entire game, every game, and they are never right. I don't know what it is. I don't know who they are. But watch it. They got people that sit behind the umpire at Ole Miss. They argue balls and strikes and yell at the umpire the whole game. And they do it most when the umpire is absolutely right. It's crazy. It just stood out to me. Of course, I only watched 30 minutes of the game yesterday. I got about a minute and a half for a man that calls himself Rooster over here on the Country Pleasing text line. What's up, Rooster?
Yeah, I need more than a minute and a half.
No, you don't need that.
Well, I wanted to relate to College World Series, Ole Miss, 1972. That's going to take more than a minute and a half. But I'm calling about basketball.
Okay.
Because it was just unbelievable. They're up 8-0, and they lose 9-8 to Texas after leading for 8 innings. And short, summing it up. Texas scored 9 runs and never hit the ball out of the infield.
What?
Not one single hit. Walks and errors.
Oh, my God.
They look like a girls' softball game, excuse me. But I'll relate that at another date. I'm all excited about NIT. Do y'all realize we're going to have a Rick Stansberry, Ben Howland matchup? That's never happened.
So is that the next ball game?
Well, if they both got to win, State's got to win and Western Kentucky's got to win. But if they both win their next game, they will meet. They're in the same bracket.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, hey, Rooster, if that happens, all of a sudden, the NIT, for the first time in a long time, will be interesting.
Well, yeah, it's always interesting. That's the National Invitational Tournament. I've been there.
No, it means not important today. It means not important today.
Rooster loves the NIT, man. I tell you what,
sure I
they
do.
need to put you.
Anything.
They need to send you a check. You doing the Lord's work, promoting the NIT is every chance you get, Rooster. Thanks for the call, man.
Absolutely. God bless.
God bless. The National Invitational Tournament. It sounds a lot better when you say that. Hey, look. Proud of State's men for winning the ball game. It was ugly at the end, but they held on and won it. Cam Matthews made some big plays for State. Kind of sealed the game, I thought. Of course, some big shots, too. And a chance. Hey, if they play Stansberry, I'll be tuned into every dribble for sure. All right, that's hour 1. Hour 2, right around the corner here in the Bureau. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasin.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country Pleasin' sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
And out. Just breathing. In and out. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace and be kind to your mind.
WRKS Pickett's Jackson.
Time.
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
Live in the studio.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Hour number 2 of the show. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Jason on the live stream, he's on Facebook, and he says that he just received a notification that State versus North Alabama in baseball have been moved to Wednesday. Has it now? It's been moved to Wednesday. Okay. So, but isn't there supposed to, no. Thursday's when you could maybe get some weather, right? Not Wednesday. Anyway, I'll double check that. I hadn't seen it myself yet. Jason, if it's on Twitter or something like that, and y'all have seen it, send it to me so that I can put the news out there if it's official. But Jason got himself a notification. I'm assuming that would be for tickets or whatever the case may be. But I'll keep my eyes peeled for that. Update from the NCAA basketball tournament. 48 minutes of wallering all over each other, but by gannies, don't shake hands after the game. COVID. Iowa is about to go down. 7-seed Oregon is beating the ever-loving snot out of Iowa.
You know, if Oregon wins this, I think if my math is correct, and it could be wrong, but that would put the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever they're called these days, like 8-0.
Mm-hmm. I think it was.
And the Big Ten, which dominated my bracket, they're just falling by the wayside.
You know how Jake Wimberly posts these memes, and it's this guy who stands out on a street corner in a crowded group of people and just holds up random messages on a piece of cardboard. You know, he'll hold one up and it says, "Not everybody needs a podcast," you know, stuff like that. The other day, somebody posted one, JB, and it held it up. You know what the sign said? The guy on the street corner, it said, "Nobody cares about your bracket." This time of year. And you just pointed out why. Like, that's why I'm through with doing brackets unless I watch all these teams play. And frankly,
I watched a lot of it this year, man. I really did. I watched more hoops this year, probably than I have in the last couple. Yeah. And I thought, you know, I got to. Well, I'm tied for 28th in the zone bracket.
That ain't bad.
No.
That ain't bad at all.
Oh, True Maroon's #1, man.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, we still got today's games to go, so
okay.
you know.
He probably filled out his bracket based on mascots. You know, he did a mascot challenge. Fill out your bracket that way. He's going to win the whole thing. So Oregon, I'm looking here now, 5.5 minutes left. Oregon is up by 20. 7-seed Oregon leads 2-seed Iowa 86-66. Oregon will advance. Iowa will not. As JB said, now Alabama's going to play later today. Tonight. They're going to play Maryland. That's a 2 versus a 10. I think Alabama has nothing but like double-digit seeds left in front of them, almost. Let's see. LSU going to have their hands full tonight against the 1-seed Michigan. Go Wolverines. Yeah, I'll root against LSU in that one. We hadn't heard from Tiger Davy today, have we? Just thought of that. Chris called us last week, predicted a sweep, didn't get it, but got 2 out of 3. And Judy told us right off the top of the spit it out, Matt. Right off the top of the show that 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, so let's see here. HailState.com.
You take 2 out of 3 at LSU anytime, wouldn't you?
Anytime. Baseball alters midweek matchup with North Alabama, so they've moved it to Wednesday. Make a note on your calendars. All right, back over to the real quick. We'll start hour 2 here with a few texts on the Country Pleasing Sausage text line. Jonathan, Fred, Jeremy, Brent, and more bully. Jonathan said, that is so funny. When people ask me for marriage advice, I always say the same thing. Separate tubes of toothpaste. They typically just look at me blankly. I just respond, trust me, bud. How about that? So Judy brought that up. I've never been asked that before. But Judy asked if I and a homecoming queen use the same tube of toothpaste. And I never even thought of it. It just never, but we just, for 12 years now, we have our own tubes of toothpaste. I don't use hers. She doesn't use mine. And that's the way I like it. I'm certain that's the way she likes it too. Now, Jeremy said, Matt, are you Cameron James' daddy? Now, why would you ask me that, Jeremy? Really? Let's see. More Bully. What did More Bully say? More Bully said, I would like to go on the record and say that powder blue is a sissy color for men to wear unless it's Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, Claudel Washington, or then he says Steve. Steve who? Just some dude named Steve? Yeah, the Braves used to, in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s Braves had the, the old Bob Horner, Gene Garber, Steve Bedrosian, Claudel Washington, Dale Murphy uniforms, Bruce Benedict Braves uniforms. Remember him? Yeah, they were baby blue.
Just say Bedrock?
No.
Just talk about Bedrock?
No, I didn't say Bedrock.
Steve Bedrock Bedrosian?
Oh, yeah, Bedrosian. Was that his nickname, Bedrock?
That was his nickname, yeah.
Who was the other guy? Gene Garber was the sidearm guy, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Benedict out there at second base.
Eggs Benedict.
Shortstop, Rafael Ramirez.
Glenn Mother Hubbard at second base.
Yeah. Pascual Perez. Mr.
What is his nickname? I-285?
Yeah. He got on the bypass, couldn't get off. Just went round and round and round. True story. Louvier said, I've only said go Wolverines when watching the movie Red Dawn. Otherwise, they can lose every game in every sport to every opponent. I hope Michigan beats LSU by 25 points tonight. Happy to see it if it happens. And I like LSU fans, and I like Baton Rouge, and I like LSU baseball, and I like LSU football. I like all that stuff. I've even said that if I weren't a Mississippi State fan, I was just going to choose another SEC school, it would be definitely between LSU and Arkansas. Because those two fan bases in different ways fit me, and I fit them. But, so it's just, I just don't, I'm ready for Will Wade to be out of it. Jay Townathan, I don't know if we use different brands of toothpaste or not. I never look. I promise you this.
Why is that? Why is the reason for that? Is it sanitary, or is it just when I do wedding counseling, premarital counseling, I tell people 2 things you need to avoid. People that don't know how to put the toilet paper on. It rolls from the top, not from the bottom. And you don't squeeze the toothpaste in the middle. You push it from the bottom. And you will be how many? I marry people that have lived together for a while. And once they get married, they find the smallest things to complain about.
Oh, yeah.
And those 2 are at the top of the list. Well, he just doesn't know how to put the toilet paper on. Well, you squeeze the toothpaste from the middle of the tube.
Yeah. There ain't no way I could be a counselor. I would have zero patience. None whatsoever for whiny, childish, immature people in those kind. I would not do it. I would not put up with it. We'd basically have a football meeting. If somebody said to me, well, he doesn't know how to put the toilet paper roll on there, you know what I would say? Get over it. How much time does it take to switch it around the other way? Switch it around and shut up. Well, she won't roll the toothpaste up from the bottom. It just bothers me. She squeezes it out and it gets all gummed up on the top. So what? It's toothpaste. It's your problem. You need to get over it. You married this woman, committed your life to her. Now you're mad about toothpaste. You're the problem. I would not handle it, man. Whiny people. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something else. All this counseling stuff, half of it out here, that's what people need. They don't need smooth things said to them. Let's work it out slowly. Bull. Half of y'all need to be yelled at. Just tell them the truth and let the chips fall. See, I couldn't do it. Ain't no way. Couldn't do it. Part of the reason I couldn't coach right now. True Maroon says this. So this is True Maroon talking about, I made a complimentary comment about Ole Miss's baby blue color addition to their uniforms. What I said was, it makes their stadium look more full of people, first of all, because it really stands out. And to me, it just looks better than the old blue. That's what I said. Because I saw that when they showed the crowd shot at the Ole Miss game on TV yesterday. Beautiful day, everything. And like the crowd, half of them wearing blue that matches the sky. Anyway, and True Maroon said, they talk crap about our black unis, but they wear Tiffany blue. He says, my new favorite uniforms are the grays that we wore Saturday with the script state on front of it. Yeah, those look good, I thought. Now, look, I'm not a uniform guy. Most of my opinions are rendered invalid just simply because I get it. I don't know what I'm talking about on this kind of stuff. But, man, I like when LSU wears those yellow jerseys with the purple hats on Sunday like they wore yesterday. I thought that looked good. But whatever. Just let them wear something and go win a ball game. That's what I say about it. Louvier said Matt Wyatt needs to be a Chancery Court judge. Go Saints and go Tigers. Yeah, shut up and get over it. All right. More Bully on the Davini Equipment phone line. More Bully. Thanks for calling. What's up? More Bully? Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Push the button.
Can you hear me?
Push the button.
Hey, watch it. I can also push the button to get you off.
I know. Good job, JB.
Hey, we're trying here.
Hey, guys. Hey, lovers. Get over it. Okay. You're up, More Bully.
Well, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared to talk after that tirade.
Look. Gosh. I'm not gonna lie it into you. I don't care what you do with your toothpaste or your toilet paper. I'm just really.
You know what does make me mad to people I'm not married to? When they know I'm on the radio and they're calling me like Fletch does all the time. He's doing right now.
It's funny.
That's awful.
He's doing it on purpose.
So what? Hey, what did Ole Miss do this weekend?
They swept Auburn. They got a one-run, low-scoring win. Got a dandy start from Gunnar Hoagland, who's I think leading the country in strikeouts this year. Gunnar Hoagland, former first-round pick. They moved him up to their Friday night starter. And I went to the game Friday night, watched a little bit of Auburn and Ole Miss, and got some friends over at Auburn and got to see those folks. But anyway, Hoagland is. He's an electric light show, man. He's good. And then so it was a one-run game, and then they had a really competitive one-run win in game 2. They win the series, and then yesterday it was just a blowout. I don't remember what the final score was, but they just blew the doors off yesterday's game.
Yeah. Hey, do you know a guy named Jet Busby?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
No, the name wasn't familiar to me. I was walking in my neighborhood yesterday. My next door neighbor called me up and said, "Come meet my grandson-in-law," and I did. And his name I think it's Jet Busby.
Okay.
He played baseball at State, and now he's a scout for the Mets.
You sure?
I didn't know.
Are you certain it's Busby? It's not Butler, is it?
No.
Okay.
Could be Butler. I know it's a B word.
Okay. By the way, that game yesterday, that Sunday game, I said Ole Miss blew the doors off. I didn't realize this. That game was 19-11. That was the final score yesterday.
Gross.
Yeah, I know.
That's gross. Yeah. No, that was funny, man. That's all.
Okay. Now,
do better next time, okay?
Yeah, More Bully's giving JB advice. Now More Bully is the counselor. See?
Just let him call back.
See, he went short and sweet on your counseling. He just said, "Hey, man, be better."
Yeah. Tell him to call back and see if he gets answered.
Yeah. Everybody's got the answers for everybody else. But when it comes to themselves, we don't always have the answers, do we? Ourselves, I should say. Okay. So the 3 games for Ole Miss this weekend, like I said, 1-0 back on Friday night, 6-5 on Saturday, then 19-11 yesterday. As we've kind of touched on, State goes down to LSU and takes 2 out of 3. They front-ended the series, and so they won Friday, Saturday. Won on Friday night 6-1, win Saturday 3-0. And so, you look at that, you go 18 innings against LSU, and your 2 best starters and your best out of the bullpen, 18 innings allows 1 run against that LSU team, and that wasn't super clean. I mean, they had some innings where they put guys on base with no outs, and there were some walks early in the first game, and they just always managed to pitch their way out of it, but couldn't pitch their way out of some stuff yesterday, and LSU salvaged a win in the series 8-3. Hit the ball. Had a couple of home runs, maybe 3. 2 or 3 home runs in the game. I know they had 2. Might have had 3. But a very successful weekend for State. Set themselves up pretty. And now you just got to take care of business at home really the rest of the way. make sure you're in a hosting position and play your best baseball at the end of the year, because that's kind of what it's all about. And I mentioned this to you earlier. Also, Southern Miss, a sweep this weekend in baseball over, who was it? Missouri State? Did I have that right? It was a team from Missouri. Missouri State. Southern Miss wins 2-1 on Friday. Got a shutout on Saturday, 5-zip. Yesterday, sweep them with a 3-1 win. So some low-scoring games, but again, so we're talking about innings. You go 27 innings on the weekend, and Southern Miss pitching allows 2 runs. Not bad at all. But the challenge is really going to step up a notch this week for Southern Miss. In the midweek, scheduled for tomorrow in Tuscaloosa, Southern Miss goes to Alabama. Alabama picked up a win this weekend. They drummed Arkansas back on Friday night, and then Arkansas won games 2 and 3. But like we said earlier, for Alabama, you go to a number 1 team in the country to their place on the road, first SEC weekend, pick up 1 win, your RPI is slick, taken care of. So Alabama, very competitive. They're back at home. They'll host Southern Miss tomorrow night, and then Southern Miss will host Louisiana Tech this coming weekend. That's the schedule to open Conference USA play for Southern Miss, and they're going to have their hands full. La Tech, pretty good baseball team. Got a win recently over Arkansas. Followed that up last week with a blowout win of Ole Miss in the midweek. So La Tech can play for sure. Stats. Let me tell you where people are. Coming out of the weekend in the SEC. At the plate, Auburn is the number 1 team in the SEC in terms of batting average at .315. Number 2 is Vandy. Ole Miss is 6th in the SEC, batting .282. State is 10th in the SEC, batting .269. Bottom 4 teams in terms of team batting average in the SEC, the bottom 4 in the SEC are Tennessee, South Carolina, and then Arkansas and Missouri. So Arkansas, number 1 or number 2, depending on what poll you look at, but they're next to last in terms of team batting average. If you look at the pitching staffs, a lot of the talk, especially after what State did on Friday and Saturday against LSU, a lot of the talk now is this debate is State the best pitching staff as a whole in the country. They don't necessarily have the best 1, 2, 3 starters, but as a whole staff, State the best in the country? That's the question. Well, right now, State's pitching staff leads the SEC in earned run average at 2.36, ahead of Vanderbilt at 2.46. Now, Vandy got dominant starts this weekend. Kumar Rocker on Friday night, what did he strike out? Like 13, 14 batters against South Carolina, got a win, first-round pick. They come right back on Saturday, and Jack Leiter, Al Leiter's son, pitches a no-hitter. He walked the first batter of the game and then recorded 27 straight outs for a no-hitter and struck out. What did he strike out? 18? It was just, he's throwing 97 miles an hour late in that ball game and just mowing them down. Now, to South Carolina's credit, they didn't get swept up in Nashville. They picked up a win yesterday and salvaged it. But Vandy's best team in the country, I think, right now. Can State challenge them? State can challenge them. Ole Miss can challenge them. Arkansas can. And I think Florida can. And really, there you go. There's your top 5 in the country in most of the polls, if not all of them in different orders. Vanderbilt, the only team that, in the SEC anyway, that puts themselves in the top 2 of both of those, team batting average at the plate and team ERA. They're the only ones in the top 2 in the league. Best fielding team in the league is going to be Arkansas. State and Ole Miss are in the bottom 3. Ole Miss is 13th in the league in fielding percentage, 969. State is 12th in the SEC fielding at 971. So there you go. That's kind of where everything is. And I'm just scrolling through. This is coming out of the weekend. We're still early. You're just now one SEC weekend under your belt. But coming out of the weekend, State still leads the SEC in stolen bases with 27. They have one more than Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. And And they still had a bunch of attempts this weekend against LSU, but they got caught a few times. Kid at the plate threw him out, but they had a shortstop. He had some really did a great job catching the baseball off short hops and tagging people. As I told you, State number 1 in earned run average. State 1, Vanderbilt 2. You flip that for opponent batting average. Vandy 1, State 2. Teams are hitting 171 against Vanderbilt. Teams are hitting 176 against Mississippi State. That's your pitching, a couple of your top 2 pitching stats right there. In terms of strikeouts, now in total, Texas A&M has struck out more than anybody in the SEC, 263. State is 4 behind at 259, and then Ole Miss is number 3. So in terms of striking people out, A&M 1, State 2, Ole Miss 3. I think A&M's played more total innings, though, than either State or Ole Miss at this point. So State actually leads the SEC, and I think they lead the country in strikeouts per 9 innings as a team. So it just kind of depends on how you slice some of those up. So there's just a few high points, team stats, hitting, pitching, kind of where State and Ole Miss are in some of those coming out of their first SEC weekend. Ole Miss will hit the road this weekend, go play. State will be at home. Take a look at midweeks. State gets moved back to Wednesday. Southern Miss is at Alabama tomorrow. All right. Rolling along here in hour number 2 with you in the Bureau. Do me a favor and stick around, would you?
We showed you the death trap Honda that almost killed 2 people. Due to post-repair inspections we have made, dozens of these death traps have been bought back by the insurer who steered customers or the shops who made poor and improper repairs. Did you go to an insurance-preferred shop? Is your family safe? Bring your car in for a post-repair inspection and let's find out. At Clinton Body Shop, your family matters and your safety matters. We take pride in perfection, seriously.
Hey guys, listen up. I need to ask you a question. Are you tired of hitting the same old spots for happy hour, the casual outing, and finding yourself wondering what to do with your spare time? Well, let's bury the hatchet and get out to Black Axe's Throwing Club located at 1149 Old Fannin Road in Flowood. Keith and Kathy are on the cutting edge of entertainment, fun, and skills testing with Black Axes. Grab your crew, your significant other, or your family and come enjoy Mississippi's newest high-end entertainment and test your skills at Black Axes. Call 601-259-9152 to schedule a lane and follow them on Facebook.com/Black Axes Throwing Club today.
At Malone Roofing, we protect what matters most. Because at Malone, roofing is our passion. For 4 generations, we have consistently proven that roofing is more than our job, it's our career. With the help of 3D home mapping software, phone or video conferencing, and electronic signature forms, we are able to adapt if needed and provide a uniquely remote experience. Were you denied your insurance claim in 2020? With the additional wear and tear of cold weather, schedule your free storm evaluation with Malone Roofing at ecmalone.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's opponents on Man versus Train. At the crossing, we have Rick, a 175-pound frustrated man who's running late for work. And on the tracks, we have Bull, a 1,000,000-pound freight train that takes a mile to stop. Let's see who comes out on top.
You can't beat a train, so don't try. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Goals. Last long, it's TP Goals, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one, lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty bending.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Birdseye. Better buy Birdseye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden, as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness.
Knocking them out of the park for great sports talk. I'm talking way back. It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone.
Back with you. Y'all text the show, 885-ESPN, 601-885-ESPN, or 885-3776. That's the Country Pleasing text line. Call me on the Davini phone. The number to call, 995-1059, 601-995-1059. Love to hear from you today. If you're watching the live stream, just drop a comment right there. I can see it, and we'll go from there. Somebody asked about the results around the SEC this past weekend in baseball, like who won the series and how. So here it is. Florida swept Texas A&M. Kentucky took 2 out of 3 from Missouri. Tennessee played at Georgia. Tennessee won 2 out of 3 in Athens. Told you Vanderbilt, USC, or South Carolina. Vandy wins 2 out of 3 over South Carolina. South Carolina got a win yesterday. Alabama won at Arkansas on Friday night, but then Arkansas won the next 2. So Arkansas took 2 out of 3 from Alabama. State 2 out of 3 at LSU, and of course Ole Miss swept Auburn. So 2 sweeps. That would be for Florida and Ole Miss. 2 teams got swept, A&M and Auburn. And the teams that got a couple of wins in the first SEC weekend, Kentucky, Tennessee, Vandy, Arkansas State. And then teams that lost and only picked up 1 win on the weekend, Missouri, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and LSU. So there you go. Thanks for the question. Got you your info. Passing that along. Hey, reminding you real quick, if you've ever wanted to get into a pair of those custom fit blue jeans, try it out at BlueDeltaJeans.com. They are phenomenal. Got a pair recently. I told you about those. You may have seen if you've seen the commercials on the live stream, you see what they look like. And of course, they have lots of different looks and threads, and you can just pick and choose whatever you want. But the thing about it is, you used to have to go get measured in person. Well, not anymore. You can go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, click on Virtual Tailor, answer the questions, enter the info that it asks for, and you're going to get a pair of custom fit jeans. And when mine showed up, I put them on. I couldn't believe it, how perfectly they fit. And not that I was skeptical. I just still couldn't quite believe it. So check it out. And if you'll use my name, you'll get a 10% discount on your purchase at BlueDeltaJeans.com. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use my name, code Matt Wyatt at checkout. That's Matt Wyatt, no spaces, all lowercase. Spell it out, Matt Wyatt, and get a discount. Save a little moolah. Doggone over here on the Country Pleasing text line. What did he say here? I saw on 247 that they have predicted game day locations this year. Oxford was picked when Ole Miss hosts LSU. Ask Annabeth, are they going to get Taylor Swift as a guest picker? Yeah, I don't know. It's a long ways off, isn't it? So game day, maybe in Oxford for Ole Miss LSU, that'd be a good one. You know they're going to have a big crowd. Yeah, game day, pretty cool. I don't watch game day as much as I used to. I remember what a big deal it was in 2014 when Ole Miss got, Corso and Herb Street and game day there. for the Alabama game. What a big deal that was. And then, of course, State got them the next week, hosting Auburn. And got Corso and Herb Street and the whole crew, Fowler. It was a huge deal. 2014, been a long time, really, for State or Ole Miss to host game day. But, I don't know. It's still a big deal. It's a very cool thing. Get a lot of exposure, I guess. I've told you this before, but I find myself during football season, when I turn on those early game day shows, I usually watch the one on the SEC Network a little more. The SEC Network version of game day. It's a very well done production. What do they call it? SEC Nation. That's what it's called, SEC Nation. And I think the reason I gravitate to it is because I know it's going to be SEC games, which is what I primarily care the most about. And I know that at some point they'll hit on my team, and there may be some nugget of information I pick up on we could use in the broadcast. And I don't have to filter out any stories of teams or things that I don't really, not as interested in. It's sort of catered to me. Sort of that niche. It's my niche. So I kind of watch that one when I do watch those in the mornings. The one last year was a lot different than the previous years without some of the main characters you'd had on in previous years. But still, it's all pretty neat. Pretty neat. Thanks for sharing that, doggone. Predicting game day spots. Well, we're hurting, aren't we? I mean, I guess you got to do something for the radio shows in Alabama, because they sure aren't going to talk about baseball this time of year. Of course, they got basketball. That's right. Alabama's still playing. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, it's over. Oregon has eliminated the 2-seed Iowa Hawkeyes 95-80. Beat them by 15. Oregon moving on. A little bit away from the start of Oklahoma Gonzaga. Gonzaga 27-0. Don't they call them the Zags, JB?
Yes, they do.
So therefore, it's Gonzaga.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to go by that, because I'm not a really Gonzaga guy.
Yeah, okay. So Gonzaga. Yeah. It's hard for me to say Gonzaga. I don't know why that is. But anyway, the Zags.
Sounds pretty good. You're doing good.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the confidence there. So the Zags are 27-0. 1 seed. Everybody thinks they're going to run away with it, especially if you get a bunch of high seeds in the, not hayseeds, high seeds in the Sweet 16 Elite 8. They got Oklahoma in their hands today. They're going to tip that one coming up. 14 seed Abilene Christian. One of the diaper dandies. Facing 11 seed UCLA later today. The Ohio Bobcats. They upset, who was it? Virginia? Ohio moved on. So the 13 seed Ohio Bobcats from the MAC taking on 5 seed Creighton. The Creighton Blue Jays, straight out of Omaha, later this afternoon. I have a friend connection to the Ohio team. There's a kid that plays guard for the Ohio Bobcats named Mark Sears. And Mark's dad is Chad Sears, and Chad and I grew up best buddies. We were the same age. We were best buddies in grade school and growing up in Russellville, Alabama. And of course, I moved away in the 8th grade, but we kept up. Chad went on and had a good football career at of course, in high school, but then played for the UNA Lions and got a shot in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills. Mark's uncle, Colin Sears, was an offensive lineman for Auburn and played a little in the NFL. And he had an uncle named Corey Sears, played for Tennessee. So it's a very athletic family, but mostly football. And then Chad's son, Mark, is now a first-year player for Ohio. So kind of pulling for Ohio. You know, have one little connection.
Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah, for Muscle Shoals. Yeah.
That kid Preston for Ohio, he is lights out.
Isn't he something?
He can get it and go.
Hey,
do you know his story?
No.
You read about him a little bit? Yeah, came up in Florida, went to one of Believe, I think it's called Believe Sports Academy.
Okay.
But just without a mom, without a dad. Just one of those great stories that you find, and somehow he ended up in Ohio. He grew, I think, 3 or 4 inches after his senior year of high school.
Oh wow, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Like Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's exactly. Matter of fact, they tongue in cheek compared him to him a little bit.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
Yeah.
The late growth. Well, what's the other? Let's see, there was another story I was going to point out to you. Oh, the Oral Roberts game last night when they beat Florida. Who's that kid number 0 for Oral Roberts?
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Imus.
Yeah, I
Imus.
can't pronounce it. I think
it's Imus.
I know this.
You should go back if you get a chance and listen to the post game conference with their coach.
Okay.
There's a quote in there, and Kyle played it for me this morning at the pro shop. But it talks about how it's so much better when you have guys that are extremely talented who are also the most dedicated workers. He said when their kids get on campus, they give them 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks, to make 20,000 buckets.
Really?
20,000.
What,
He
like
said
free throws or just anything?
No, short, all over the floor.
Mhm.
You got to make 20,000 buckets, and you got to keep up with it. He said most kids, it takes them 10, 12, 14 weeks. Sometimes kids will push those, He said this cat did it in 6 weeks.
Ooh. Well, they had a bunch of guys that, there's no one player that's the reason that you come back from behind and win a game like that. And it was helped by Florida kind of thinking they could put it on cruise control almost.
Mm-hmm.
But that cat right there, anytime they needed something, he went down there and gave it to them.
Yep.
A 3 with a hand in his face, or body up with a guy who's like 6 inches taller than him and still make a tough shot right over him in the lane, and you see some of these players you hadn't seen all year long, and they're just good. That's really cool. Okay, so LSU Michigan is tonight at 6:10 Central. LSU Michigan's an 8 versus a 1.
Yeah, we had a caller a while ago who didn't want to go on the air, but he was saying how the Big Ten's nothing, and the SEC always gets a bad seed, like an 8 or a 9. He said LSU shouldn't have been an 8 seed. They're going to beat Michigan tonight.
Not happening. But watch out, since the Pac-12 is on fire, the USC Trojans face 3-seed Kansas in a prime time matchup tonight on CBS, 8:40 Central Time. 6-seed Trojans, 3-seed Jayhawks. Go Trojans. Let's see what happens. Coming to your text next, I'll let you hear what Mike Bianco and Chris Lamonis said after the ball games yesterday. Next, in the Bureau. Stick around.
This is Jake. After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on who you were with. And My experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out. Okay. And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi. And that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh.
On 105.9 The Zone.
Okie dokie, back with you here. Wrapping up hour number 2. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Thanks for tuning in. However you're tuning in, wherever, feel free to comment on the live stream if that's where you are. Say hi. I'd love to hear from you that way. Shoot me a text. Give me a call. Jason in Flagstaff texted the show and said, I've not watched game day in years. I was always a college football final guy when they had Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz. Too much going on with the game day for me. Yeah, I mean, they change things, try things. I guess I've sort of been critical in the past, and now I guess I care so little about it. I'm not even as critical as I used to be, but yeah, I agree with that. I used to enjoy seeing Coach Holtz and Mark May on there. I thought they were a good counterpunch to each other. It was entertaining. The game day stuff, I don't know. It's just worn on me over the years. I think initially, it was a little more organic in the early years because it was new and they were making a name for themselves off of the story. They were doing the story of the day, the story of where they were and why they were there, the stories of those athletes, the story of that day of college football itself. And they were a little more organic and a little more authentic in the early years. And frankly, you know how it is with everything else. The farther you go and things change, and they really are trying their best to manipulate it to be like it once was, but it's backfiring and having an opposite effect for them these last few years on shows like College Game Day and some of those others where, frankly, it's less authentic story and more about flash and pomp and circumstance. And, it's just not as entertaining as it used to be. And ratings and everything else will back that up. It's not like they do a bad job. They don't. They still do a good job. It's just not what it used to be. I would agree with that. Saints fan SB09 on the live stream over on Periscope said Abilene Christian, Baylor, Loyola, Oral Roberts, and Creighton. What do they have in common? I don't know. What do they have in common? Give me the answer. I'm interested. I did see this nugget, though. This is sort of, but not directly related. Oregon's win over Iowa today is the 12th upset of this tournament. Okay, so upset being defined as a win by a team that was 5 spots lower in the seeding than their opponent. So if you go 5 spots and beat your opponent, then you're an upset. The most through the round of 32 that you'd ever had was 10 upsets. That was done 8 different times before this year. The record for the most upsets in a tournament is 13 total. That happened in 85 and in 2014. So the record is 13 total in the whole tournament. We're halfway into this thing, or not quite, and we're already at 12. So you may break the all-time record for upsets. Again, if you define an upset as seated 5 spots lower than the opponent, the one you beat. Just thought I'd give you that.
Let me throw you a bone.
All right.
Can I do that?
Yes.
All right, so my thoughts the entire weekend as to why so many upsets were happening. Couple things.
Okay.
Number one, you've got everybody strategically and centrally located. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's got this routine down, and you're not doing anything. You don't have people from the East Coast flying to the West to play a late-night Friday game and vice versa and all the other things in between. Mm-hmm. So when you take some of those X factors out and all you're doing is just getting in a bus and going and playing basketball and eating,
mm-hmm.
I think it allows for more parity to become involved, because if you're going back to your school as normal tournaments would have been years ago, then you're back at home either Sunday night or Monday morning, and then you're on the road again Wednesday, and then you're on the road, through the weekend and then back home. And I just think that makes a huge difference in the way these teams are playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I think you hit the nail on the head. The only poll that really matters is the one in the end. Mm-hmm. And all these people, including myself, that thought the Big Ten was Big Ten. No.
Hey, let me throw another idea at you.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Teams like Oral Roberts and Abilene Christian, who play in front of nobody throughout the year anyway,
mm-hmm.
do a whole lot better job of playing well in front of a half-empty arena than the Floridas and the Tennessees of the world.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100%.
I mean, to go up in there with no electricity, frankly, like for some of these teams, in Virginia, it's crickets. Now, I know that they haven't had full capacity where they've been.
Right.
But still, I mean, Oral Roberts, and they're up. They're ready to play. These teams are ready to play.
They're pretty decently known mid-tier basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
But look, man, I just think there's something about everybody kind of, because when you come down to it, you got your D1 guys, but I'll tell you this: it's like yesterday, Loyola Chicago sticking it in the Illini's eyes.
Mm-hmm. They sure did.
That was all about, y'all are the big school. We're going to show you how the little school.
Yeah, I love the parody. I absolutely love it. I love it. It makes me want to watch more. They go, the ratings go down. I don't care. It's not because of me.
No, they said the ratings are up more over this weekend than they expected.
That's great.
So anyway,
so the answer from SB09, he's asking what Abilene Christian, Baylor, Loyola, Oral Roberts, and Creighton all have in common. They're Christian-based schools that are still in the tournament. How about that? Isn't that something? How that works out? Okay, as promised, here's what Chris Lamonis, back to baseball, said on the post-game radio interview with Jim Ellis right after yesterday's loss to LSU and come back home.
And your thoughts of when this one got away from us?
It was, we come out in the first with good energy. We don't get a good start. They get a couple of cheapies. And then I thought we locked in, for 5 or 6 innings. And Dugas did hit a nice ball there, had to hang a slider. And then in that 6th, 7th inning is when we let it get away from us a little bit, because we knew getting into their pen we'd have some opportunities, and they had some of their top arms still available from the weekend. So I thought Floyd pitched well, especially for that first inning or two, and then they had Fontenot fresh, who pitched well the last 2 innings. But just a little disappointing. Just didn't think we played our best today.
as you look at the week ahead, we've got a Tuesday ball game with North Alabama. You've got Arkansas on the week.
By the way, just a note, that's been moved to Wednesday for the midweek.
Weekend. I would think that after this weekend, you'll be glad to get back out there and get some fresh arms on the field on Tuesday and sort of get prepared for what's going to be a very good Arkansas team.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. I mean, we get back home, like you said, we play North Alabama on Tuesday, and then we jump out there and get a chance for our first SEC home opener in 2 years. Big crowd and exciting weekend ahead of us.
All right, here's Mike Bianco after completing the sweep yesterday, 19-11 win after a couple of one-run wins before that.
I think we pitched it, pretty well, especially starting pitching, throughout the weekend. We won 2 one-run games and then really swung it well today. Again, that's a good club over there. They're like us. They're a little banged up, especially from the pitching side of things. And you could see that, once, today, I think, once we got some runs, it was tough on them. They're missing some key guys like us. And, but no, I'm happy and I'm proud that, you win 3 games. This league is very unforgiving, and as you can see in the last 2 innings. And so anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And so we'll take the wins and move on.
It's Mike Bianco. So for Ole Miss this week, it's Central Arkansas in the midweek game scheduled for Tuesday tomorrow in Oxford. And then Ole Miss is scheduled to go to Alabama, play a 3-game series in Tuscaloosa starting Friday. As mentioned earlier, for Mississippi State, they had a Tuesday midweek against North Alabama, UNA from Florence. They've moved that back to Wednesday. Not really sure why, for what reason. Don't have a reason, but anyway, it has been moved back to Wednesday. And then State will host Arkansas this coming weekend. The other SEC baseball series set up for this coming weekend or around the rest of the conference. LSU goes to Tennessee this weekend. Now, LSU will go to Tulane in the midweek. Absolutely not a given for LSU. Go to Tulane, but then turn around and go to Tennessee, who's a top 15 team in Knoxville, and just took 2 out of 3 from Georgia. Florida this coming weekend goes to South Carolina. That'll be a good series. Texas A&M will host Georgia this coming weekend out in College Station. Auburn is at home this weekend hosting Kentucky. And don't look now and don't blink, but Kentucky's a pretty good baseball team also. And number 1 Vandy this weekend goes on the road to Missouri. And if Vandy walks out there with one hand in their pocket and an eye patch on, they still ought to win that series at the very least against Missouri this coming weekend. So, yeah. Early competition, you'd have to say that both State and LSU, they faced each other, but both State and LSU have tough early schedules in the SEC. But the toughest is South Carolina because Carolina had to open the SEC season at Vandy, turn around and host number 5 Florida this weekend. But it's tough. It gets tough on everybody as these weekends in the league pile up. All right, that'll wrap it up for hour 2. If you leave us, have a great weekend. If not, stick around for hour 3. I'm Matt.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good, busy day dessert. Jello instant pudding.
Trains them to become free, life-saving service dogs for our nation's veterans. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
This is WRKS Pickens Jackson. Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone 1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Hey, here we go. Back with you. Hour 3 of the show today, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Same as every day here on the show. Hour 3 presented by Overstreet Properties. So anything residential in and around Starkville. If you're moving there, got to have a place to live, want to start the search process for that new home. Or maybe it's not permanent. Maybe you need a condo, place to stay when you come into town, visit your little one who's no longer little, who's now a college student, or you go into town for ball games several weekends out of the year, or even leasing an apartment. Anything residential in Starkville, go to Overstreet Properties. Find the contact info at overstreetproperties.com. So here we are in hour number 3, and a lot of days it's sort of like the casserole hour. It even gave it that name recently. It just kind of, it all goes in there, just whatever you got. Now, today is sort of a reaction Monday, and there's been plenty to react to. We still have things we haven't quite gotten to. A lot of baseball talk, a lot of basketball talk, and it's been just a fun sports weekend. There's just no two ways about it. You've had a little bit of everything. I guess not fun if you're a Jackson State football fan. Went to Alabama State and lost first game of the year. A really competitive football game, and on the road and downtown Montgomery. Have you ever been through Montgomery on 85, Interstate 85, not far from the 65-85 interchange over there, close to Riverwalk Stadium, where the minor league team plays, close to downtown. You get on 85 and head east through Montgomery. You drive right through the Alabama State campus and right under the north side of the football stadium. Yeah, you drive under it, basically. I mean, it's right there on you. And that's where Jackson State played this weekend. Good ball game. It just came up a little bit short, but they'll regroup. Other than that, a sweep for Ole Miss baseball this weekend, a sweep for Southern Miss baseball. State goes on the road, takes 2 out of 3 on the road at LSU. We got some other stuff, too, out there. Try this story on for size. I just thought I'd share it with you. I don't even know anything about it. I just saw the headline. I just saw this pop up on Twitter. I got to click it. Hang on. The headline says, Cubs prospect reportedly arrested after police find 21 pounds of meth in his team equipment bag. What? Chicago Cubs pitching prospect Jesus Camargo Corrales has been arrested on drug charges after he was found 21 pounds of suspected methamphetamine, 1.2 pounds of oxycodone in his team equipment bag. Right-handed pitcher charged with distribution of methamphetamine, distribution of a controlled substance, and multiple possession charges, according to online court records. Dadgum. Never know what you're going to see on Twitter, especially during the casserole hour. You just, dadgummit. Okay, anyway.
I would imagine he is a former prospect now.
He is now a former. He's now moved on in the next phase of his life, which involves an orange jumpsuit. I'm Matt. JB is here. And most importantly, you are here. So however you're tuning in, y'all can text us on the Country Pleasing text line. It's 885-ESPN, 601 number, 885-ESPN. Or if you need the number itself, 885-3776. Now, like Lynn said, he texted us to let us know State is moving its midweek game versus North Alabama from Tuesday back to Wednesday. Lynn says he thinks there's a good chance of rain tomorrow. That just a guess as to why that would have been moved. That would make sense. If that is the case, we got a big chance of rain tomorrow. But it has been moved back. Midweek baseball, State will host UNA if it happens on Wednesday Ole Miss is scheduled to host Central Arkansas tomorrow. Other midweeks, Southern Miss tomorrow goes to Tuscaloosa, play Alabama. So, a few others. Got the list here if there's any other curiosities of who's playing who in the midweek, but you'll hear about it, see about it, and all those things. White Denzel, thanks for your text. What did he say here? Made an upside-down pizza casserole over the weekend. This is for the casserole hour. He made an upside-down pizza casserole over the weekend. He put country please and jalapeno and cheddar sausage. Now you have my attention. What was it? You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. He put country please and jalapeno cheddar sausage in there. Leftover chorizo and pepperoni. He said, let me tell you, outstanding. I bet it was outstanding. Sounds like it. There's a few calories in there, Denzel, just a few. Okay, but maybe you're not the counting calories type. But it certainly does sound good for sure. Chorizo, that's that sausage kind of have a red color. Who was it? Doggone. Somebody asked me earlier, and I meant to get over here and answer their question, and I smooth forgot it back then. It was somewhere earlier in the show, and I think it was on the live stream, but it was a simple question. Somebody wanted to know if Country Pleasin' had an andouille flavor, and the answer is absolutely they do. Yeah, it was Saints fan SB09 asking, does Country Pleasin' sausage make andouille? Yes, and I've had it. And it's really good. Real unnamed texter said it's like Ricky Vaughn in Major League, the California Penal League. That's where that guy's headed. 21 pounds of meth. Threw away his baseball career for it. Oh, God, he got bigger issues, though. Bless his heart. All right. Over here to the Divinity phone and to tell you about that. Y'all can call me. I can hear your voice here during the third hour of the show. 995-1059-601 number. 995-1059. Chris, you are up first. What's up, Chris?
Well, to start off with, I called to say that I was wrong Friday. We only won 2.
Doggone, you were close.
Well, I think if they'd have pitched Houston Harden or Brandon Smith yesterday, we'd have won 3.
Yeah. Well, see, Brandon came in relief on Friday night, and I guess threw enough innings he wasn't going to throw again, but yeah, I mean, it's well within reason, all these sports, baseball too, games of momentum. So it's well within reason, Chris, to say that if you'd gotten a better start early in that game, given the way the rest of the weekend had gone for LSU hitters, those 2 early free runs for them and free base runners sort of let them off the mat, right? Like if you had gotten a good start by somebody on Sunday, where you get maybe 3 innings into that game and LSU's still looking for a run, you knew good and well their hitters were going to start to really press. But you let them off the mat by not hitting the strike zone. Sarantola did 2 early cheap runs that he didn't really have to earn, and so it was a little easier for him to breathe, I think. So that was a big deal.
I'm going to echo something Mr. Haydad said. After he walked them first 2 batters, I said, this one's over.
Oh, yeah? Really? Well, but see, that's just, I know it turned out that way, but just let me tell you something, Chris. That's just stinking thinking, okay? That's what that is. That's that's what we do as fans, and it's low self-esteem. I'm already looking for a reason for my team to lose because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in them historically thinking. That's what that is. I mean, in reality, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't that way. I wasn't surprised to see Sarantola go out there and have trouble finding the strike zone, okay? You were worried about it already. But my thing was I saw him walking, even the 2 runs across the plate early, you're going, it's still a long ball game, and there's plenty of time to go win it. And even though you give up some runs in there, State had its chances to go take the lead or take the game back at the plate, and they didn't get the hits, So I think that's
I'm Mr. Optimism, though. That's the thing is I'm the one that says out of the first, what'd you say they had? Concluding those 3 games, there was 12 games. I'm the one that thinks that they're going to go at least 9-3 at the worst,
Mm-hmm.
and most likely probably 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I just, or 11-1, however you want to do it, because I still think, I think that right there even cemented Arkansas even worse in the dirt, because I think that State's going to come back and just roll right over them.
Think so? Yeah. I was going to ask you.
All right,
so you
see what Alabama did.
You sticking with?
I think the next 2 weekends are going to be sweeps.
Really?
The next 2 weekends are going to be sweeps.
All right then. Hey, look here. If State sweeps Arkansas this weekend, then it's they'll put them at number 1 in the country, and then what do they do after that? Then they'll turn around and host Kentucky the next weekend. Yeah.
No, the next weekend South Carolina.
No, it's Kentucky. They go.
Well,
they host Arkansas. They host Arkansas in 3 this weekend. Then they go Mississippi Valley State in the midweek, and then they host Kentucky for 3. The first weekend in April. That'd be what, Easter weekend, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I know it's Kentucky and South Carolina's next, right? So that means that.
No, I'm not seeing South Carolina on State's schedule until.
I thought they were there.
They are there in early May. Okay, so the first full weekend in May, which is May 7th, 8th, and 9th. You get a partial weekend right at the beginning of the month, but the first full weekend, May 7th, 8th, and 9th, State goes up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Is South Carolina is up there, isn't it? I guess it's over there. They go over there. I said up. I don't guess they're all that much
I was
up.
going to say, I think, actually, honestly, if you want to know the truth, this is just me being a truck driver, I actually think that would be due east, because I've been through Columbia, South Carolina a bunch. I think it'd be due east. And it may be just a little southeast, because I think they're a little, if you look at it right, I think they're a little south of us on the map.
They may be, because what?
You go straight over. You go straight over to Atlanta,
right?
And then you just bounce up and keep going 20.
Have you ever made that drive?
I have.
You know what? Hey, so I'm not a professional driver like you, Chris, but I made that drive one time, and basically the same drive you're talking about, and it was several years ago. I got a ticket to a practice round at Augusta for the Masters over in Augusta, Georgia, which to get from Tupelo to Augusta, Georgia is the same as going to Columbia, South Carolina, the same way. And so I drove through Atlanta, from Tupelo to Birmingham to Atlanta, and then through Atlanta all the way over there to Augusta on the other side. And if I'd gone about, 15 more miles, I could have gone to Columbia, South Carolina. But what I remember is I'm trucking along, you think the trip's going good, and you get to Atlanta, and man, on the other side of Atlanta, from Atlanta to Augusta, Georgia, you talk about nothing and a long straight haul of nothing between there and there. That was.
And you want to talk about traffic?
Oh man, and I'm like, there's nothing out here. Where are these people going? But
they run bumper to bumper up 20 down through there in between Atlanta to Augusta. They run bumper to bumper 80 miles an hour all day long.
80 miles an hour. And you're right. You feel bad about spitting out the window because it's on the windshield behind you. There's a guy right behind you, It's crazy.
No, yeah, well. Now you get a little dose of what I have to deal with in this truck every day, all day long. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, so South Carolina's later in the year. So, if I just say, you look at the series that State does have this year, okay, Arkansas is at home this weekend. You follow that up with Kentucky at home. Now, Kentucky's no slouch. They're playing good baseball, and statistically they're pretty good, but, their schedule's not equal to everybody else's. They're going to have an early April series at Auburn, so you got to go over there, and we'll see if Auburn's pitching staff is healthy by then. Chris, in the middle of April, State's going to host Ole Miss for Super Bulldog weekend. That begins the toughest 2-week stretch of State's entire season because they'll host Ole Miss for Super Bulldog. We know it'll be a dog fight and huge crowds. And the very next weekend, after Super Bowl and Ole Miss, you go to Vanderbilt in Nashville for 3 games.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think that, especially with McCasey being hurt, I think that Vanderbilt series is going to be between your 2 SEC winners.
You think so? One of those 2?
I mean, even with Rocker and Leiter, they're wearing their arms out.
I thought
they're
the same thing, Chris.
I mean, we're going to have, when we get into the NCAA tournament and we get into the regionals, the super regionals in Omaha, we're going to have fresher arms. And, I mean, we don't even know if they've got a bunch of depth in the thing because they don't ever pitch them.
Yeah, look.
So, I mean,
I think it's a great point.
I think we've got an advantage.
Well, I think it's a great point that you bring up because I had that same conversation with a neighbor of mine. We were down the road. We got somebody moving in our street. We were down there talking. They were State fans, and they're asking about baseball. And we got to talking about that, and I go, I understand that, if you're Vanderbilt, you want to dominate with Rocker, okay? But do you really on a Friday night against South Carolina? Did they really want him to go out there and push that pitch count the way that he did? And then the very next day, your number 2, I know he throws a no-hitter, but do you really want this early in the year him going out there and throwing over 100 pitches just so he can go chalk up a no-hitter? Because if you compare exactly what you're saying, Chris, if you compare that to State, they're parsing this thing out. I mean, McLeod goes out there for 5 innings and throws 70 pitches. Bednar goes out there and throws 60-something and spreading it out. I just think I looked at, and look, who am I to question Tim Corbin? Maybe he knows what he has, and maybe they have a good enough, team all around. It doesn't matter. But I thought the same thing. Why would you, even for the no-hit deal, why would you run their pitch counts up so high this early in the year, knowing that you get into May, all it takes is one little sore elbow to change their entire weekend if you're Vanderbilt. They ought to protect those guys.
Isn't that exactly what happened to Ben McDonald? He threw so many pitches and so many innings in college that basically when he got to the pros, his arms weren't no good no more. I mean, that's what I've kind of heard.
Yeah, maybe.
And, I mean, the other thing is I want to bring something up because I want you to remind you of something. You remember back in the middle of basketball season, I called and said I can't wait for baseball season?
Yes.
And I told you why I couldn't wait for baseball season?
I don't
remember what that was?
No, I don't remember what it was.
Because I told you back in basketball season that we had the best pitching staff in the nation. Matt, we still have the best pitching staff in the nation. I don't care what Vanderbilt's got. We're pitching better than they are. We're playing better than they are. We may not be hitting better than everybody right now. But who else in the SEC has thrown 23, 24 arms? And every one of them been really good.
How about this?
But Sarantola, I think they need to tell Sarantola, hey man, go over there by that water and sit down and hold that water jug down for the rest of the year because you're going to be right there where you need to be. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Chris.
A good week.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good week. Thanks for the call. Innings pitched, the most innings pitched this year in the SEC. Tied for first, Leftwich at Florida and Gunnar Hoagland, Ole Miss. A little lower, 31 2/3 each. Right there with them at 31 innings, the most innings pitched so far this year in the SEC. Kumar Rocker of Vanderbilt. That's their number 1 starter at Vandy. And their number 2 guy is in the top 10 innings pitched in the SEC already this year, and that's Jack Leiter, 29 innings pitched. So Vandy, Vandy has 2 guys in the most innings pitched. Florida has 2, both Leftwich at the top and Mace, who's also thrown 30 innings. So they haven't been in their pen very much. And that's it. Florida and Vandy are the only 2 teams that have 2 guys each in the top 10 of the most innings pitched. You got Hoagland in there at 31 2/3, tied for the most in the league. Marceau, who was outstanding the game 2 starter for LSU. He's thrown 30 innings. He's up there. Dylan Smith at Alabama's up there, and then Dustin Syons at A&M is up there. Thomas Farr is also in the top 10. Pointing all this out, Mississippi State doesn't have anybody anywhere near the top 15 innings pitched in the SEC. For whatever it means, for however it plays out, Chris's point is accurate that to this point, State's leading the SEC in ERA. They lead the country in strikeouts per 9 innings. They've thrown 23 different guys, got all these arms of, maybe the best and certainly the deepest pitching staff in the country. And they're all pretty much to this point on cruise control. Nobody's been pushed at all in terms of their workload. If that plays out, if that leads to less arm trouble, if that leads to fresh, I don't know if it does. I'm not an expert. I'm just saying some of these others, man, are loading up on innings pitched and pitches thrown. And I guess that's the deal too. I'm giving you a stat here. I don't have a stat for the number of pitches thrown, and which is probably a more telling stat than innings pitched. The innings just give you we can go, you can throw one inning, I can throw one inning. Well, maybe my one had 19 pitches and yours had 9. That's a big difference, obviously, but I think there's something to that. When you look, not worried about the offense, make a change here and there. They held out Braylon Skinner. They knew he was really good and basically just held him out to make sure he was healthy to be able to play against LSU. Really, pacing their entire pitching staff and their workload. Everything State does shows you they think they have a team that can go win the whole shooting match, and they want to kind of make sure that they're ready and healthy and can play their best baseball in June. That's the way it looks to me. But they're not the only ones. We'll see how it plays out and see if it works. I'm Matt. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Go. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze, Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert, Jello instant pudding.
Was brought to you by Ameristar Casino in Vicksburg. All year long in 2021, Keith and the gang, along with our 17 kiosks, are waiting to take your winning bet. Be it the gridiron, the hardwood, the baseball diamond, and more. You can get all the action all year long at Ameristar Casino. Don't forget to download our app so you can preload your bets for the fastest service. Just head over to AmeristarCasinoVicksburg.com for more information. Stay, play, and dine at Central Mississippi's premier gaming destination, Ameristar Casino Hotel. Gambling problem? Call 888-777-9696.
Are you ready? Now back to the guy who loves his banana pudding. It's the Matt Wyatt Show. Live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, back with you. You know what I watched this weekend? I watched it last night while I was doing push-ups. People will come, Ray.
Ray. People will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have and peace they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
And they'll walk out to the bleachers. And sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines. Or they sat when they were children, and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game, and it'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces.
Ray, when the bank opens in the morning, they'll foreclose.
People will come, Ray.
You're broke, Ray. You sell now or you lose everything.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
All right, how about that? Hey, so speaking of baseball, I did watch that last night. Thanks to the text from Lynn on the Country Pleasing text line, it led me to the information about some rules changes in minor league baseball. Now, minor league baseball organizations are part of major league organizations, and some of them are calling this experimental stuff. So if you want to imagine that this stuff might make its way to Major League Baseball, you can. But I'm just going to give you what these changes are. This is for minor league stuff in 2021. In AAA, all AAA leagues, they're going to use slightly larger bases that have a less slippery surface. Okay, there that is. Also, in all of AA, so this is going to go for your Mississippi Braves and Biloxi Shuckers, a requirement that all 4 infielders have their cleats within the outer boundary of the infield dirt when the pitch is delivered. All right, so no more getting 15 feet out on the grass off the dirt, shifting, and you got somebody out in the outfield. In AA, you're going to make you put your feet in the dirt if you're one of the 4 infielders. In high Class A ball, a requirement that pitchers must step off the rubber to attempt a pickoff. No jump and throw, you're going to have a little drop step in there. In low A ball, they're going to have a limit of 2 pickoff attempts per plate appearance. Stop throwing over there so much, making it boring. And let's see, what else we got? They're going to have a 15-second pitch clock out west. In A ball, they're going to try that. In the Southeast, in low A ball, they're going to have an automatic ball strike system. What is that? What's an automatic ball strike system? I'll look that up and see if I...
It's kind of like we had Sandlot days.
Well, no, it ain't either. Look here. Robot umps.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Long proposed, the automated balls and strike system will finally become a reality in affiliated ball with this experiment. Though a human umpire will still be positioned behind home plate. The Hawkeye tracking system. What's the show that had a Hawkeye in it? A guy named Hawkeye. MASH.
Yeah.
That's what they all call this, MASH. Yeah. The MASH unit.
That's what it is.
The Hawkeye tracking system will be used to deliver an audio signal to the home plate ump, who will then relay the ball or strike call.
What if he disagrees with the robot?
The goal here, obviously, it says, is improved accuracy and reduced controversy. Hey, if you are a manager in low Class A ball in the Southeast, no more arguing with the umpire. He's just relaying the information. Don't shoot the middleman. All right, Lynn, one more thing on the Davini Equipment phone line. Lynn, thanks for sending me that link. That's really interesting.
Hey, Matt, that's what I was calling about. I didn't know if it was big enough for you to see it or not. I was going to make sure you could see it. Yeah. The only one of them I liked was the bigger bases.
Well, what was the reasoning for the bigger bases? Did you read about that?
I didn't read much about it. I watched a little YouTube clip, and it said it was going to be like 3 inches bigger or something like that. It's going to make them like 18 inches instead of 15.
Let me give you what it says. What it says, and they're going to only do it in AAA. This is for every AAA league. It says 90 feet from base to base is standard. So is the size of the base itself. So far, each side of every base is 15 inches long. This says, but the AAA bases this year are going to be 18 inches square and are going to be composed of material that is expected to perform better in wet conditions. It applies to first, second, and third base. Home plate is going to remain the same size as always. It says the subtle increase in size provides more room for players to operate around the bases, reducing the odds of the kinds of collisions that have caused foot and ankle injuries in the past. How about that?
I like it. And I tell you what, Braylon Skinner could use a couple more inches, and he beat out a few more to first.
That can be all the difference, right? I mean, we say
3 inches right there, 3 inches longer, and he beat out 1 or 2 more this past weekend, I think.
Yeah. Well, and the one to me is the whole thing of the rule that puts the infielders, all 4 infielders got to have their cleats on the dirt.
Do they want to take, I mean, let's just get rid of baseball managers. Just somebody fill out a lineup card. There's no strategy involved.
Yeah, because if you shift.
You got to leave the pitcher in for 3 batters. You can't shift. There's going to be a DH. I mean, I almost lost my language. What do they want us to do? Nothing?
Well, and then, the one league there where they're going to say, I guess it's Class A ball out west, where they're saying a maximum of 2 throwovers per batters, or was it pitch outs? I thought it was throwovers, but yeah, anyway.
I think it was pitch overs. Well, I'm waiting on 2, and then I'm going on the third one.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you throw the second one.
Can't do that.
Right. I mean, so basically by the rule being you can only throw a maximum of twice over during one at bat, that means you really only can throw, Lynn, you can only throw it once. Because you have to have.
Really, you can only do it once.
Because you have to have the runner guessing, and if you throw it twice, there's no guessing anymore. He's just going to take off.
I mean, could you turn and spin and throw the second after the second one?
Well, see, that's it. You'd have to step off the mound, pivot, and throw it to whoever's covering second base, and then the hopes you either tag or get him in a rundown, right? Because it's saying, man, I don't know.
They're thinking, but some of it's a little too far-fetched. But I don't have a problem with making the bases bigger. That does lead to more offense.
Yeah, so, it does. A little,
but that don't necessarily speed a game up, does it?
No, it doesn't. And, of course, that one league, they put a 15-second pitch or a new pitch clock on there. They're going to be working in a hurry.
Let's use the one we've got.
Yeah, let's figure that one out first. Yeah, good point. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate the call.
Well, Matt.
All right. Good stuff. I appreciated that. I hadn't heard any of it. That's great. Bigger bases.
The manager won't. I still think, man, it takes away from everything. You to go out there and argue with the dadgum robot.
That's what I'd do, just for fun. Make it big on YouTube. Y'all stick around.
It seems like every time we have tire needs, the road.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Hey, if you love football, so does he. It's the Matt Wyatt Show. Nobody breaks down quarterback play better than him. And he's right here, right now, online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, all set to wrap it up with you here today on this Reaction Monday, Hour 3, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Just a reminder, go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, the best fitting, custom fit blue jeans. They're custom to you. One size fits one. That's you. They are made for you. They fit you and nobody else. And I've gone through the virtual tailor process online, and they showed up, and honestly, I can't believe how good they fit. So you ought to try it. BlueDeltaJeans.com, and if you use my name at checkout, you'll get a 10% discount on your purchase. That's Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, no spaces. Use code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, no spaces at checkout. BlueDeltaJeans.com, get a discount. Some reaction to the proposed rule changes. But first, back on the pitch count thing. This came from True Maroon. He's showing me something that Charlie Winfield tweeted. Y'all know who Charlie is? He's doing those SEC Plus games with Bart and has for a long time. Good old Charlie. He tweeted 116 pitches for Kumar Rocker on Friday, 124 for Jack Leiter today. It's March. Yeah, I just, again, it's one of those where you step back and you go, all right, Tim Corbin, one of the best coaches in the country. Very, very smart. They know what they're doing. Jack Leiter's dad is Al Leiter. Major League pitcher, Major League coach, Kumar Rocker, first rounder. They know what they're doing. But I can't figure out why they do this. I mean, is it just to basically make a statement, go ahead and run yourself out there one good time, or what? I mean, what is it? I don't get it. But to each his own. They do them. Y'all do y'all, and us do us, and let's see how it works. All right, Louvier on those changes. He goes, 9 defensive players. Put a pitcher on the mound as a catcher and a catcher behind the plate. The other 7 should be wherever they want to be. Yeah, so Olivier, that one rule in minor league stuff, that's going to be in Double-A. Right? That's going to be in Double-A, where all 4 infielders, by rule, have to have their cleats in the dirt. Cannot just go anywhere they want to. Can't play out on the grass. I mean, I don't it's experimental. I don't understand the purpose of it, but experimental, there it is. Real unnamed texter says, those batters are going to be begging the human umpires back when those pitches that sweep through the zone will now be called strikes. Those pitches are not hittable. Yeah, they sweep through the zone. I don't know if I'd agree with that. Yeah, how is this laser system calling this thing? You know, because if there's no way that a robot umpire is calling a strike based on where the ball's caught, right? Because that's not accurate, not even close. And if there's not some sort of laser directly up high over home plate shooting directly vertically down over it, how is this robot going to know whether that ball swept through the strike zone over the plate or not? I'm skeptical. And my thing is, that kind of technology, why are we trying it out at the lowest level? I mean, there's some low A ballparks in the Southeast. You're going to have to keep a close eye on it. Some good old boy and his buddies are going to throw it in the back of a pickup truck and ride home with that robo-ump. A little bit of chain it down. Where is it? What does it look like? I got all kinds of questions. Yeah, I think I almost never have a big issue with an umpire who is giving calls or giving a little room on the inside of the plate, inside part of the plate to either right-handed or left-handed hitter. What I think really is kind of unfair. And I watched most of the state LSU series this weekend. I thought the umpires did a really nice job for the most part. What I think is unfair is when these umpires, they'll call a strike. They give a strike that is, what, 2 balls outside off the plate? I'm talking it's not breaking across the corner of the plate. No, it's catching the stripe of the other batter's box. I'm talking about it's off the plate. It ain't touching any part of the plate. And they're giving them that strike out there. And, as a hitter, to me, a strike is a ball that is somewhere in that strike zone that the barrel of the bat can reach it. It may be hard, some more than others, but the barrel of the bat can reach it if a guy's got both feet in his batter's box like he's supposed to be. Well, you got some umpires that'll call pitches so far off the plate away that the only way a hitter's going to hit it is if he steps across his own inline of his batter's box. That's what bugs me. Because then you want to say to the umpire, hey, man, you're giving that pitch. Whether you're calling it both ways or not, you're giving that pitch out there. Have you ever stood in the batter's box and tried to hit a baseball? You can't hit that. We can put it on a tee out there, sitting on a tee in that spot you just caught it. Can't hit it unless you lean out and step across the plate. Why are you calling this? What's wrong? And then the other thing I have, and this is where experienced umpires laugh at me, at my inexperience. And I'm sure they're like, man, this dude is a novice. What an amateur. Maybe. But here's my thing, y'all. Why do umpires move around back there in different angles and stuff depending on who's at the plate? You watch some umpires and he'll be looking over the catcher's left shoulder, peeking at a, not 45, but at an angle over here, 25, 35 degree angle over here over the catcher's left shoulder because he's a left-handed batter. And then here comes a right-hander. He gets on the other side, looking across at some big angle. I'm like, Mr. Umpire, you're calling balls and strikes, right? Yes. The ball has to come over certain portions of the plate, right? Yes. The plate doesn't move. The plate is sitting in the same spot every pitch, whether it's a left-handed batter or a right-handed batter or a right-handed pitcher or a submarine pitcher. It doesn't matter. Why is the umpire moving around? Get in a spot and stay there so you can see every pitch the same way you've been seeing it the whole game. But see, then the umpire looks at me and goes, man, you've never done this. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, maybe so. I just think umpires should err on the side of the hitter at every level. If you're not sure if it caught the plate, don't call it. Make it hittable. And then let's find out how good a pitcher he is.
Yeah, those really crazy umpires are the one that tell you right there at the first of the game when you have your meeting, all right, it's 2 inches outside the black. No, it's not, Blue.
No,
it's not. And if you call it that way, you're going to be throwing me out in the first inning.
If I was a coach, he'd throw me out right then.
It happened.
He'd throw me out for saying it 2 inches outside the black. Man, well, I'm like, what do you got? You got somewhere to go?
We want people to hit. We want a big plate. I said, well, then tell the person that invented the game.
Hey, you call the strikes over the plate. Guess what? We'll hit because then the ball's hittable. We calling it 2 inches outside the black, you dummy. He'd throw me out before we ever got back from the lineup exchange. Not putting up with that.
Yeah,
all right, Louvier, Davini Equipment phone line. Louvier, what's up? Hey, Louvier, what's up?
Hey, well, good afternoon, gentlemen, and go Saints. So, last week I called and told you about my prowess of football officiating. I also dabbled in baseball officiating, and I was on the bases and a buddy of mine behind the plate, and the first pitch of the game, he called it a ball, and a guy, obviously the father of the pitcher, said, call it both ways, Blue. First pitch. Call it both ways, Blue.
It was foreshadowing.
That said, yeah, let me tell you, sometimes the umpires that give the outside corner, that's fine. But the outside plenty, no, man, you can't hit that with a boat paddle.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I do enjoy ribbing the umpire just a little bit, and I've been the umpire, and I got ribbed a little bit. And you know what? Every now and then I think, yep, I deserve that. I missed that call. That was a strike. I called it a ball. But it's not an easy job, and there was one game that I recall at Jackson Academy, and I was behind the plate, and the pitcher was somebody from Macomb, and he was going to be a pretty good draft pick or whatnot.
Got to go quick.
He fired it in there, and I got hit by the foul ball, and I still have a headache. It's not an easy job.
No,
lay off the umpires, guys. Hey, love your show. Go Saints.
Thanks, Louvier. Okay, we'll do it. We'll lay off the umpires. This is a good idea for a little while, anyway. At least an inning or two, we'll lay off of them. For JB, I'm Matt.
Hey.
Good show.
Monday to you, pal.
You too, man. See y'all tomorrow. See ya.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.